And we are live.
Is it 7 o'clock already?
Do what?
7 o'clock already? We're a minute early.
Another minute, but we're live anyway.
All right.
Say hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Oh, gosh,
Hi, guys. It's Tuesday night. Time for our weekly live update. So, you want to wait around and see if any more people got on? We got. Let's see. Let's see what we got on here right now. We got Eagle Lover. Oh, it's moving fast. Terminator's here. My Crooked Homestead. Oh, that's Terminator. I don't have my glasses on. RN. Starla. Mrs. Hacks. Who else? T-Paw's here. Pat Wiley's here. And Renee's here. Renee, where in Missouri are you from? I'm a Missouri boy, born and bred. I'm living in exile right now, thanks to the government. But, oh, and Hippocrates Gardens here. So I hope you guys had a good week. It was a
near Ava.
Near Ava, awesome. Isn't that where Whiskey Jack and his crew moved near?
I don't know.
You sold him the house.
Oh yeah, down by the Springfield area. Yeah.
Anyway, we had a good week.
Took me a minute. I've been busy today.
We got a lot done this week.
Yeah, a lot.
We got a lot done.
Yeah, it was amazing. With some help.
With some help.
Yeah.
Big news. And big news. The big news yesterday was the day before the laptop with all our videos and video editing stuff on it died. And we potentially lost 3 or 4 videos, but we managed to get it back.
Yay!
But what was the big? What did we do this week that was so big?
We have insulation in the pantry. We have a new electrical box put in the back of the house. Thanks to Mr. Hacks. Mr. Hacks for the Homestead came over and for 2 days and did our electrical. We ran some wire, all of that stuff, got all that done. Mrs. Hacks and I ran to the big city and got some supplies and everything that we needed yesterday. I had been running back and forth getting different supplies, but finished up with everything, with what we needed for the electrical now, and still some extra to finish up inside the house. And then we actually have room back there. Got some things cleaned up, and so that works out well. But now that we've had everything back there, and as heavy as everything is, we're seeing that we have to replace that entire floor. So
where the processing kitchen's going, not in the
in the family room
and the living room. Yeah, but we knew that going in. We just didn't realize how
bad it was. And so, in that space is important because that's where I'll be doing classes and that kind of thing, and then also doing a lot of my canning and all of that stuff. So, hey, Jonathan, and then so we got that stuff done, and then they moved the safe in, and once they got the safe moved in.
What safe? We don't have a safe.
And then I was able to clear out some stuff out of our closet, so we had more walking space in there. Got that stuff done, and then as I was doing that, I had forgot I picked up a whole bunch of sewing stuff because I went to the store, saw at Joann's that the shelves were getting empty, and I went, oh man, because you can never have enough needles. You have to have different type of needles and that kind of thing. So I found some material, which I guess I was going to go ahead and make quilts for the grandbabies, and I forgot I even had it. But now I've got a space and I can start working on stuff. So I have everything put away there, and potentially can start pulling some boxes in from the outbuilding. I'm excited about that. And then I surprised you today.
I asked you to do it.
Not like that.
She was up on the ladder putting insulation in when I got home, and she did a pretty good job at it. I'm gonna have to pull some of it out because I got to put some studs in. I told you that. I got to rehang the door. Tag told me that the measure of a good carpenter is how well they hang a door, and apparently, on first glance, I'm not a good carpenter because I gotta pull the door off and fix it.
Literally, it was wobbly. I tried to stuff it with insulation to make it solid.
Well, and
sorry.
I just want to. Cindy Northam just showed up. We had a great big huge door shaped hole going from where the pantry is uninsulated into the semi-insulated part of the house, and I wanted to.
So it wasn't wasted, and it's only a few feet, but
no, it wasn't, and I'll be able to reuse it. I'll be able to reuse it. But yeah, so that was good. And then the getting the electrical box in was big.
That was huge.
And I did not get
Because
as
that gives us the green light to get all the stuff done in the back of the house.
yeah, I did not get as much done in the pantry as I wanted to, but I got more done this weekend than I had planned, if that makes sense. Maybe I'll have weekends like that. Terminator says she got 2 sets of breeding turkeys, and they are bronze and Spanish black and Muscovy ducks.
Nice.
With Muscovy ducks. And then she talked about the video she did today. If you guys didn't go watch her video, she did a nice short little video, and she took us on the tour of her upcoming renovation thing, and she's going to have a pretty cool looking chicken coop and pretty useful when she's done with it. She got a good starting point on it. So if you guys get done here, go watch her video that she posted about that. It's interesting. But yeah, so and it's just, I guess it's just renovation time. Everybody's trying to get
RN, that's funny. I get it. Yeah, they are. I didn't know how rich I was until this last week. So did you catch what
yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah, so let me read it just so everybody understands. RN said, I did not know that chickens, ducks, and quail are in golden eggs.
Yeah.
And yeah, so on the East Coast, I think it's they're up to $1 per egg, and then here it's pretty amazing. We're at $8 a dozen, and that's if you can find them in the store. So yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy, and it's just going to get worse. So yes, I definitely appreciate what I have, and we will be hatching out more. So in fact, I'll probably get started on that at the end of the month.
Guys, Valentine's Day is coming up, and you really want to impress your gal, get her something expensive. Buy her a dozen eggs. Skeins girl showed up. She's working on her bathroom. Skeins, we thought about you last week when those big storms were rolling through. Yeah. That was kind of hairy down there. You guys don't normally get that type of tornado activity down there. That was pretty wild. Miss G, don't feel so bad.
Dad was a carpenter, and everything I build is crooked. That's how I named my homestead.
Well, and I live by the rule: the chickens don't care. The chickens don't care if it's square. So there it is.
And we've lived in many of old houses that there was not a square corner there.
In fact, I was joking with Darren while we were running electrical. I was his wire monkey this weekend because he's the guy that makes it all hot, and I'm the guy that crawls up in the attic space with the raccoon droppings and the moldy. It's, oh God, it was so gross.
We have to get all that cleaned up.
I know. Just another thing I got to do. Got to wait till we get money to buy it. So insulation's expensive, guys. You guys, if you haven't been out and checked out insulation recently, oh my gosh, it's
awful.
It's over the top expensive.
But it's also the season, so I think that's part of it. But and it's hard to get. So.
But we were joking. I was joking with him while we were running stuff. You realize from one end of that room to the other, I was only off a 1/4 inch on my walls, and everything's plumb, and it's. In fact, the door was about the only thing I screwed up when I was building it, and it's probably the only room in this house that's properly built. Crooked and
well, the office, we built that.
Yeah, but it's got some issues. Aaron says just bought a bundle of insulation tape for $6. My gosh, that's crazy. That's insane. Indiana Mike, ahoy! See, I'm catering to the Navy guy. I'm trying to make him feel
to
included.
Your chauffeur.
Me. But,
you have to always make the chauffeur feel special.
Pat says been busy transitioning my garden tanks to the Hugelculture system. A lot of work, but have a lot of. Can you read that? I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah. So it's been busy transitioning my garden tanks to a hugelculture system. A lot of work, but I have a lot of down limbs and branches from our storm last year. LOL, need them somewhere. Need to use them somewhere. So,
Spags shows up.
Hey, Spags.
Just raising property value by showing up, right, Spags?
So yeah, got all of that stuff done. So that was huge, and I'm looking forward to it. I just like need him to get the walls on so that I can paint and get shelves in and get things organized some more. It's nice just accomplishing those little things, and something gets done, and then I can go ahead and I can work on getting things organized and feel like I actually have space to breathe.
Well, and
So
that's one of those things about doing these type of projects, especially when you're renovating like we are.
yeah,
It's hard to get them started, and once you get them started, you reach a point where the momentum starts picking up, and it starts opening room for other things. That was one of the reasons why I drug my feet, because it was like attacking an elephant, and how do you eat elephant? One bite at a time. But those bites, you get more and more gone, and moving the up room so I could move stuff out of the way so I could put the door in for the pantry. Getting the pantry done is going to free up a bunch of space so I can work on the floor in there and clear space out of the outbuilding. So if you're dragging your feet getting ready to do these type of renovations and everything,
stop it.
you just got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go. And I'm not going to lie, 2022
It sucked.
kind of threw me for a loop.
Well, it does suck. It was a learning lesson. So like,
no, it sucked.
All that
2022 sucked. I'm
well,
sorry.
I think, especially like me being able to get all that insulation and stuff done as fast as I did today, that, usually you wouldn't finish a room that size in that amount of time that I was in there.
Right.
I was only there 3 hours, and you actually came in and I had to redo some stuff and cut things. So, but because we've been working on cabins and 2 chicken coops and all of that, kind of became a master at insulation. So I can just eyeball it and go. Because remember, we had to cut insulation because of what happened at Lowe's. They were short insulation, didn't have all of our orders, substituted some stuff. So I had fiberglass all up in my face.
When we talked about that last week, I made the comment that it was actually better for us that they screwed it up. It wasn't until I actually went out and looked at the insulation itself, they screwed up big time.
Yeah,
Had they not comped all that insulation, we probably would have paid twice as much.
Oh yeah, and more than that, because I know that one of them was at least there was an $80-$90 difference between what we had ordered and the insulation that they gave us. So yeah, it was more money than that. And then dream about that's what I dream about my house. Gee, you're way better than mine. Yeah. And then yeah, so we got, hey, good evening. Yeah, so then, gosh, man, we just got a lot. We just got a lot done. It felt good. It stank. I did a video and don't know what happened, but it's gone. So I'll have to redo that. And I have to redo it because it was so good. Mrs. Hacks was trying to figure out how to put more chicken in her pocket.
It was so good. Mrs. Hacks said she wanted more of that chicken up at the top of the.
Did she?
Yes, she did. I thought you saw that.
No, I've been macking on it. I know that we were gonna save it for him, but no, I've been macking. We're gonna do that again. It was a recipe that I created. I'm very proud of this recipe.
It was delicious.
And,
it was really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Was it?
So
it wasn't
super
pesto
excited.
sauce.
No, it was not. No, it was not pesto sauce.
Secret, Starla.
I will. I know I need to play with the pesto sauce, but this one, I mean, I guess like kind of sort of with pesto, but I didn't use any oil. Instead, I used vermouth. And but oh
Drunken
man,
chicken.
it's good. No, it wasn't drunken chicken because you don't have that till later. And then Mrs. Hacks was standing, and she's like, "Man, that would make a really good gravy." And I was like, "I can do a gravy for you, no problem." So I did a gravy for her, and it was a gluten-free gravy, and so it was exciting. But I'll do it again, and I've got it memorized.
I'm gonna take the sauce from the leftovers and use it on that plain chicken.
So, but yeah.
Again, this is why I weighed 341 pounds at one point. Ow!
But yeah, no, so it was delicious. And then, so I do watch a lot of.
Sorry, dog was biting my foot.
I do watch a lot of cooking and stuff where I get a lot of my inspiration and how I can twist things and what I can do to create something that we like in our household. And so, Jacques and Julia is one of my faves, and so I get a lot of inspiration for them. And this time I just tried a recipe that he did. I did change it with what I had in the pantry, and oh man, it was delicious. So we'll be doing that alongside with it. I don't mind replicating that entire dinner, do you?
No.
Right. So
Then,
we'll eat it again.
Mr. Hacks says we did go through a lot of books we picked up a couple months ago. So when we did the cleaning out of the prepper, the old prepper house, we picked up a bunch of books. They brought them down, and we're sitting here staring right in back of the camera, two piles of books that are about that tall. They're probably 1.5 feet, 2 feet up off the table.
Can I show him? Should I show him what we found?
Well, here, I'm going to spin the camera
well,
on, guys.
wait, I want to grab that one.
Nope. There it is.
Okay,
boy, I certainly hope nobody got motion sickness.
Probably. But so it was really funny because as we were going through books, we came across this one. Nope. And it's the Ground Covers, Vines, and Grasses. And so I was going through it and I'm like, man, I really like this. We can use this. And so it's like, I'd like to have this one. And, you know, we share books, the Hacks in Us and the community, we share books back and forth. So if anybody needs research or whatever, everybody's got different books and that's how we do it. And so I was looking through it and I felt something funky on the back cover. But I didn't think about it. I was like, man, you know, and so then I passed it over to Darren as Darren's looking at it. And I noticed that Darren, the way that he was holding it, I'm like, no, I definitely noticed something was there. And so I said, hand me that book back. And so he hands me the book and I start examining the back cover of this book. And so I was like, I need a knife. Somebody grab me a knife. And so Patty goes and grabs me a knife. And everybody's like, no way. And I said, yes. And so I cut the bottom of it. And sure enough, I pulled this package out and there was $500 bills in there.
I thought it was $250 in an Amish canner.
Well,
that's what I thought it was.
So I said, because this gal where we're picking, she was a prepper and a homesteader.
Oh, she was a hardcore. She and she was homesteading. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she.
So what I thought, I was like, as we're sitting at the table and I'm counting this money, it hit me in my head, and I said, you know what would be a good tribute to that? And then finding this money, let's buy the Amish canner. And so G was like, well, it's not household money. Great idea. Go ahead and grab it. And so that's what I'm going to be doing with that money.
Mrs. Ghetto showed up. Hi, Mrs. Ghetto.
Hey.
How you doing?
Yeah, Eagle Liver, Texas. Yeah. So we gave the guy that bought the property because I found her business plan and she had a recipe box. And in there, under the file of finances, she actually had a map of where the silver is buried on that property. And so I gave that back to the owner because the agreement was whatever money you find there, then that is his. So that map needed to go back to him.
Renee said she's dispatching rabbits tomorrow for the first time. Should be a great learning experience.
Nice.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
It will be.
It's that first one's always the hardest. You know, they get easier after time. I'll just say this. So my take on dispatching animals for food is, if you ever get to the point that you enjoy it, you probably, you know, the actual act, you should probably go seek help because, you know, it's just, that's kind of, if you get to the point where you enjoy the actual killing, then you've got some serious issues.
So Renee, the Amish canner, it's a water bath canner, and you can put in, gosh, I'm trying to remember, something like, it's amazing. It's like
58 quarts or something like that.
No, I think you can put in 30 at a time, 29 or 30 quarts at a time, or maybe 15. You put in 15 quarts at a time, and then you can do 30 pints. That's it. And you water bath, and it goes on your stove. It'll take up 2 burners, front and back, and then put that in there. And with the metal that it is, it gets up to a higher temperature so that you can be water bathing your meats and proteins and all that stuff. But you can also do your other stuff that you don't have to do for 3 hours. So that's what that is.
Terminator said out of the 50 jars of relish she did from the recipe, Her husband's eaten 10 of them already. You didn't do that too terribly long ago either, did you?
She did it, so that's funny. I love it. Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad you guys enjoy my cooking and my recipes. I really do. Yeah, the trim. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna kill that dog.
You just need to nail it down so she
or
can't
pull it out because it's
or
terrible.
pull it out. We got to replace it anyway.
The milkmaid's in the house.
Hey, milkmaid.
But let's see what's Starla. So glad to be doing two things I love the most: listening to Yoda and G and sorting through 2 boxes of Baker Creek seeds. Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, so Starla is actually going to be doing a veterans garden, and she had some amazing donations for seeds, and she needs to learn now. And so,
yes, big attack puppy.
Yes, and so she got some wonderful donations of seeds and all of that, and so she is sorting through seeds, new seeds, old seeds, all of that. And I'm lucky enough; she's sending me a box and a box to share and put out. So we're gonna maybe come up with a few things, maybe do some seed trading, that kind of thing. I'm going to talk to Starla about it, make sure what she's comfortable with, and then we'll go from there.
Dog just bit my toe.
Yeah. So like if you see scratches and things like that, guys, I've been working hard and I have a puppy. You don't smell me around.
Our aunt says she was looking for salt with no preservatives. Finally found more pickling canning salt for $1.86 for 3 pounds at Wally, where it only contains salt. And you know what? I'm sitting here thinking my initial thought was $1.86 for 3 pounds. That's pretty good. But remember when it used to be like 50 cents a pound?
Cheaper than that even.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible out there.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
But so it was like I said, that we had the conversation this weekend was really good. The hacks and us, we talked about raising rabbits in colony, because I used to do that. I would not recommend it unless you take specific steps to ensure that the breeding does not go rampant.
Mrs. Ghetto, I just want to let you know something real quick too. So if somebody jumps in here and starts some trouble, it's your husband's fault. So I'm just going to let you know that. It's not my fault. That's your husband's fault.
Don't pick on Ghetto.
So I was laughing and it was funny. I really did want to smother Tag in his sleep, but I'm not going to. So
yeah, but that's a common occurrence, isn't it?
Yes. Stop it.
Milkmaid says salt. Pretty sure any non-additive, non-iodized salt is okay for pickling, canning, preserving. Hope that helps. Yeah, I think
I'll put you out on your
as long as you're not trying to if you're doing meats, you need the salts with the nitrates in it. See, I remembered nitrates this week. Last week I forgot, but yeah, you do need the nitrates if you're doing meat for the long-term preservation. Oh my God!
I don't know what else to do with her. I want to put her on her chain. Put her outside.
Oh, she's gonna bark.
Yeah,
I forgot how much I dislike puppies. I don't dislike them. It's just they're a big handful, especially this one. She's fine. The puppy's really funny. She's gotten to the point where she's not afraid of the chickens and the turkeys anymore. And she has actually, in fact, tonight we went out. She was out there herding the chickens. She was making them all run in a little pack and keeping them from going all over the place. It was actually kind of cute. Hopefully, whenever she gets older, we'll be able to teach her to do it with the sheep.
Yeah.
Skane says she got 36 pounds of Morton salt for $30.
Ooh.
There you go. That's better.
What canner are you finding at Walmart, Hacks?
Yeah.
Here's a link for the canner, and then it's got Walmart. I'm not ordering that through Walmart.
Do they? I
don't even know if they have it.
I didn't even know they sold it. Well, apparently they got it.
No, I'll give my money to the United States. My money's going to Lehman's.
Terminator says, let's follow. My husband got me enough pickling salt to do 2.5 gallon pelts. You know, there's a thing about it. If you're doing a lot of canning, there's a couple years we went through 50 pounds of salt with all the canning that we did.
Yeah.
I had a couple of years before we moved to the old homestead when we were living on a suburban lot. I had a couple of years where I had so many cucumbers that
Hex, I appreciate that. So Hex is saying it's the Amish canner. I appreciate that, but I don't want to order it through Walmart.
oh
I want to
no
order it through
it's
Lehman's.
no, he's right. Lehman's, you can order the Lehman's Amish canner through Walmart.
Why would I give my money to Walmart?
I'm just
Why don't I
saying you
just give
can.
it to Lehman's?
You can. I remember seeing that the other day, if I remember correctly. You know. So that's the update for this week. Is that pretty?
Oh, before we skip over now, because I think it's important,
Okay.
I really do. So we can be given all of our money to Walmart, a corporation who doesn't really appreciate their employees, who doesn't care about customer service, who is jabbing everybody all the time, or we can give it to a family-owned business that is giving jobs to people that they care about and inspiring them and inspiring other people towards homesteading and learning, because they do classes there at Lehman's too. And so they're constantly learning and teaching you how to turn around and homestead. That's where I prefer to give my money. So I'm not telling you guys how you need to spend your money, but my money will be going.
Full disclosure, we do use Walmart.
We do when I have to.
That's one of the downsides of living in rural America now, is that your options are kind of limited, and you shouldn't feel guilty. You know, if you can't find any place else, Walmart is okay. Yeah. I mean, it's
my Crooked Little Homestead. Your pressure canner is brand new, and if I remember correctly, it's the Presto, and Presto will actually test that gauge before they ship it out, so you are fine with that. If you want to go ahead and get it checked out, there's nothing wrong with that. But you will want to check that ever so often. If you're using it the way that I use mine, then, you know, on a constant basis, I have my gauges checked all the time, because I can usually tell when they're off. As you start pressure canning, you're going to get that experience, and you'll know when something's off because you can hear it in the jiggle.
So, well, and you never know straight out of the box when you're going to get that Friday afternoon piece of gear that somebody made when they were thinking about a long weekend.
That's true too, but Presto does guarantee their stuff. But if you want to be safe, go ahead and get it checked. I don't know where you would get that up there. Here we have extension offices, and that's where they check it. So just up to you. Well, Presto's from Vietnam too, so we're a little bit different on our pressure.
Pressure's pressure.
Is it anywhere, no matter what? Okay.
Well, and then, you know, it kind of segues into the one of the topics I wanted to talk about tonight. So the computer dying on me. This laptop that I've got is 13 years old, and it was my work laptop, and then they let me take it whenever we retired it, and it's been used almost every day for 13 years. And when it died, it had all our financial information on it, all my certificates for my professional certificates, had all videos that still needed to be compiled and all that. And it got me thinking, you know, we still, even homesteaders, even a lot of homesteaders rely a lot on technology. And you know, one of the books that we found last night, I don't remember, Hax, did you take it? The one that with the barrel making and the wheel making and all that. There was a book with all the primitive skills in it that people have lost. And you know, it's just, it got me thinking. We really need to pull ourselves away from our use of technology. And I say that, and I've got solar lights and panel coming this week that I'm going to put in for lights in the pantry. I'm going to use solar lights in there, but there I am. I'm relying on technology. You know, what are you looking for?
No.
But okay, she got up and just started wandering around.
Because I pay attention to your questions, and I know that this is important. So what I'm talking about, and what she is going to get checked, and what you want to check ever so often. See if you can get that at a there you go, right there. So it's the gauge that's on top of your pressure canner. Some pressure canners have them, some don't. So the pressure canners that don't have those, they have something that looks like that. And those you can adjust, and I don't know, it's not together, it's all pieces, but you can adjust. And so there's different weights on them. And that is how you tell if you need 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds. And so if all of your weights are together, then you're at 15 pounds. So the steam gauge is what you're going to want to be checked. Does that make sense?
I hope so. I'm trying to catch up. I got off.
Fine, Milkmaid. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me of that.
Let's see here. Let's go through this right quick. Anyone else? Let's see here. Yoda, you nailed it with the pressure canning.
Oh, thank you.
Uses the weights, and you use the weights mostly
yeah, I
because
do.
you use mostly the American, All-American.
Yeah.
Well,
my All-Americans have them too. It's all my older canners that don't have the steam gauge on it. So yeah, you just have to go off of sound and all of that. And we can do. He was trying to get me to do a safety canning video anyway. So maybe I'll go ahead and I'll do that. I'll do a breakdown of all of that, and then show you guys what we're listening for and how that works.
Everything from exploding canners to hot steaming turkey broth on the ceiling.
Oh yeah, I know it all.
You know, and broken glass. I mean, there's always
something.
Always something to,
Yeah.
to worry about.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Victoria said, "Well, yes, we use electric fuel way too much, especially going down the road, probably even more so." RN says, "Gee, take the hard drive off the computer." Actually, the computer didn't die. I had something happen with the connection for the power, and it fritzed out on me. And when it fritzed out, it crashed the OS hard. So I had to reload. I had to go in and I had to fix the connection for the power and the battery, and then I had to go reload the OS. So the hard drive is perfectly fine, and it's one of those SD chips, and unfortunately I don't have an SD chip reader, so I had to come up and make it work, or I was going to lose a whole bunch of stuff that was important. So naturally now, as a prepper, I should have known better. But so now I'm going to work on getting that stuff onto proper drives and everything. Let's see here.
No, Starla ordered a ton of tree sheet. When you order from the forestry, you have to get them by a certain number, and she doesn't need all of these. So just for anybody that's in here, and if you go to your comments and look, she's also over on Freesteading, so you can connect with her there. And Starla is coming this way, so if there's anybody from our area that is interested, let me know, and she can bring them up with her. And I hope that's okay, Starla. And then but she's basically saying she ordered some trees from the forestry. She said if you pay shipping, she'll go ahead and ship them to you if you need them. They're bare root trees, so you need to know that. And she said some of the list is black cherry, elderberry, and sand plum. So what we want, and I have the list. So whatever we want, we just need to let her know.
That's awesome. And folks, I'm a huge proponent of buying from your state forestry people, because first it's local trees. It's all stuff that's native to your area, and then the money that you spend on it goes back into the system and helps them, the arborist, make more trees. For the price, you've probably heard me talk about this before. 2 years we were at our old place, I planted over 600 trees, and we ended up spending roughly $130 over the course of that 2 years. And I sat down, I thought about it, just from a financial standpoint. If only 1% of those trees survived, that if only 6 trees survived out of all those 600 trees, and I went and bought them root ball and all, I would have paid more than $130 for those 6 trees. And when we left there, when we left there, I did a rough count that summer before we left, before we were thinking about selling, and I had
quite
about
a few survived.
I had about 60% of those trees survive
Mhm.
into their third and fourth year.
And we had some fun trees. We had some coffee trees and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So like to have a lot of that back sand plum would be nice. That's what he was drilling over. Started was the sand plum.
And the elderberries.
And the elderberries.
I miss the elderberry bushes.
We've got some.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back.
Well,
and show you.
we don't have a wet place to really grow them.
Back in the woods is where they're all growing. So let's see. I want to catch up because they're in here. Milkmaid. Okay, got that. No problem. Yeah, I'll work on that video. Victoria Johnson, your take off freestanding platform. Still on the fence about adding it. So Victoria, it's a little bit different because we have a behind the CU, and so we know what's going on. They're still in development, so everything is just trial and error at this point. But for the most part, working out the glitches, they're getting there pretty fast, and working out those glitches and all of that, it does take time to set something up like this. And I don't know. I think just being able to get a hold of other people, there are groups that are forming.
In Victoria,
There's homestead rotations that are happening all over the United States.
We're one of the original community leaders. You know, we were in the beta testing and all that stuff.
Right.
And here's my comment on why you should be on freestanding. And everybody that's been on here before has heard me say this. You should get on freestanding for two things. Number one, it's got a calendar of events, and more people are putting events in there from all across the country, and it's helping not only people find these events, it's helping the people that are making these events coordinate so they're not clashing with each other. Mm-hmm. The second one is there's the individual state groups, and the hardest part, freestanding is about building community. I mean, at the very base of it, you'd say it's about building community, wouldn't you?
Yes. And
the hardest part of building community is that initial conversation. Freestanding gives you the opportunity to go to those state pages. And if you don't, if that's all you do when you're on freestanding, it's well worth your time. But you meet people. And as an example, I met two guys at the last Midwest Preparedness Festival that were, both of them were within 20 of our old house. And one of the reasons why we ended up in Kansas was because we did not have support out there. And both these guys made the comment that well, I'm sorry, one of them was on freestanding, the other one was at the festival. But both of them made the comment that I'd been looking for people for years, 4 or 5 years, and they had not found anybody. And we all lived within 20 minutes of each other. Yeah. So if anything, in Tennessee, mm-hmm. we were standing around the bonfire that full night of the thing down there at the Back to the Land Festival, and some guy came over to me and he was talking to me about our channel. We started talking about freestanding, and there was another guy standing next to us in the same conversation. We were talking about it, and turns out these two guys were from I think they're from Kentucky. And they lived within 15 minutes of each other. Yeah. And so and there's no telling if you're gonna meet somebody that you can hook up with and start building a community, but you
might not use hook up.
Well, but you know what I mean. But the opportunity's there, and it's a better opportunity than not having it all. So if you're thinking about going on freestanding, that would be the impetus for me to tell you to do it, right?
Yeah, and it's really funny because even on our lives, and I think it was just last week, we had somebody that's over in Missouri, and their comment was, "Come back to Missouri," and yeah, we would have stayed had we had the community that we have here. Yeah. So
but I had to take it upon myself to find community, and we found a community, and the opportunity came to move into the community, and here we are.
So Victoria, Heidi is actually on freestanding as well, and so that might be a good way for you to connect if you're right there together. I mean, I would love to sit down with Heidi and get some of that knowledge.
And Dog Creek Farms just popped on. How you doing? He is starting a sustainable community like what Jason and his group started in Kentucky. So they're starting Sustainable Indiana, and he and I need to sit down and have a talk sometime and get him on film, so he can share his experience with how to do that. I mean, literally, Dog Creek, correct me if I'm wrong. You literally starting from scratch, right? And it's a big hill to climb, especially nowadays.
Definitely.
Let's see what else we got going on.
There was some books. Somebody was reading a book on joining me in the garden. I think I'm trying to remember that, and I cannot remember what the name of the author was. But she was asking you, and she was telling you that she was reading that book. So I may have it wrong. But then they're talking about turmeric and ginger and all of that. Getting the organic from the store, and then getting that. I have done that before. I actually have video on that in our shorts, right? I don't know. I do a full video
of what?
When I did the sweet potatoes, the turmeric, the ginger,
that was a full video,
and all of that. So it's in there. It's in back. I did that last winter, right before spring. So this time of year, last year. So it's on there. But yeah, it can be done. Find your sweet potatoes, get that stuff started, and get that going. I walked in, before the last freeze. Those sweet potatoes, I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
I've been feeding them to the goats.
So you fed the goats all
we
the good
pulled
ones.
we pulled the sweet potatoes up too late. We should have left them in the ground, actually, but we put them in the greenhouse to harden.
And forgot about them.
It was 2 days later. It froze, and they froze, and they just
probably could have sandwiched them.
So we lost, but we didn't really have that many. Normally we get a couple of bushels, and we didn't even have a full bushel this year. Well, Milkmaid, it happens. We just get busy doing other things. And then that freeze, that hard freeze, that week when it was down below zero for an entire.
That was hard. Yeah,
that was really rough.
But the good news is I know how to get my sweet potato slips, so it's not a problem. I just need to make a run. So.
Well, and I was thinking about it.
I gotta get this started.
I gotta get the pantry done so we can clear, so we got space for the rack, so we can put starts in this year.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a system. But yeah, so I'll get all that stuff started. I usually sell sweet potato slips. I did last year, and I had people drive quite far to come and get them. So I know that I need to be doing that again. I need to do that this year.
And those
Japanese, it's going to be even more short.
Those Japanese sweet potatoes.
Oh, those are delicious.
Those are so good.
Yeah. And I'll do a better job of keeping the slips.
They're purple on the outside and kind of white on the inside, and they don't taste like traditional sweet potatoes.
They're more mild.
But they're from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Danny from Deep South grows them, and he was talking about them, and he was giving the rundown on the genealogy of the Japanese sweet potatoes, and they're from Louisiana.
Yeah. So, and Jonathan, he got and he's starting his slips, and he's going to do that.
He left us some tarragon that is just some Texas tarragon that is just off the chart good.
It. Yeah.
So have I. Let's see, gets the sweet
from Azure Standard. Yeah, Azure Standard actually just sent out a coupon. You have to order by February something, and then you get $25 off a $100 purchase or something like that. I'll look into it. When I go in, every time I think I'm going to order from Azure and then do that, whatever the things that I want, that I'm interested in bulk, they're usually sold out. So I don't know, but I don't know.
For the longest time, we never used the seed houses for the longest time. You know where I got most of my seeds? I would wait till the end of the season. I'd go down to Dollar General, and they would be clearancing out seeds for 5 cents a package, and I would buy
they don't do that no more.
I'd buy like $15 worth of seed packages, and just by sheer numbers, you're gonna get stuff that propagates.
Yeah, but last year they didn't do that. They threw everything in the dumpster, so you had to go dumpster diving for it. And then it was too late before people realized that they were putting them in the dumpster. So I don't know. I don't know what the issue is, but I
Terminus is the author is George Walter.
There you go.
Milkmaid. That's the frustration with Azure. I had to order bulk salt for a couple of times before I actually got it. Was
Bulk salt.
bulk
Yeah,
salt.
I think that's what she meant.
I don't
Yeah.
think we. I don't. Have we ever bought from Azure?
No.
I didn't even realize you knew what it was.
Every time I try, they're sold out of what I want. So I just.
I didn't even know. I had never heard of Azure.
Anita is who it delivers. So they literally deliver right down the road.
Oh, well, they were talking about on that Telegram group that I'm in, and they were talking about getting stuff from Azure. And quite honestly, folks, I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, it's Azure standard.
I'm kind of set in my ways, though.
Well, I even looked at Azure because I was trying to get, oh man, there was some wanted buckwheat and some other stuff, the seeds I wanted, because he likes hummus, and so I was going to get some beans and that kind of thing, and they were sold out for months, and so I just quit trying. I get frustrated, and we finally found
chickpeas.
Yeah, and that's what I do. If I can't get it somewhere, I get frustrated, and I just keep looking until
I ain't gonna lie. We bought quite a bit of that, and we put it in buckets for long-term storage. Because if the world's gonna come to an end and it's all falling apart, I'm gonna have some hummus in it.
Well, and it's really high in protein, so it's really good for you. I mean, you can do that. You throw that in a salad, get 15 grams of protein and some nice veggies. So that's exciting to do.
The roasted red pepper hummus. Oh God, that's so good. Back when I used to eat carbs.
Yeah. So, but yes.
Question and there we. It said we disconnected, so maybe.
Eagle Liver says she orders monthly. Yeah, I have quite a few friends that order monthly and get some really good stuff. I'm not saying that they don't have good stuff. I'm just saying the stuff that I want, they don't ever have.
Here's a question.
Or I just order too late.
Came to my mind just now. So I did that. I did a live on Sunday because it was the 3-month anniversary of me starting this eating carnivore. What happens at the end of the world? Am I going to be able to keep eating carnivore? Or am I going to have to go back to eating carbs? That's it. I never even thought about that, to be honest with you.
You're going to be eating a lot of vegetation because their salads are going to be coming from the yard. And then you could continue to eat carnivore, but you're going to be rationed. You're not going to be able to eat as much as you want.
That sucks.
That is what it is.
Good news is at the end of the world, I'm going to lose more weight. So let's put a positive spin on it. Yeah.
I sometimes I used to get so frustrated. I'm like, oh man, when the end of the world comes, I'm literally going to have to put locks on the pantries and refrigerators and freezers and all of that, because man, you can't keep control. And I know with everything that we have and what we're doing, I know we're even probably going to have an issue with the animals on that we store on hoof. So it just
Milkman thinks the same thing I do. He's a good man. He's smart. He's probably handsome too, right, Milkman?
Oh man, that's all we need. Two of you.
But yeah, I don't know. It just I started thinking about it, and I had to go to Walmart to pick up some prescriptions, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't go up there that often. I don't look around when I'm in there, and I was kind of shocked about the way it was looking. I mean, it wasn't barren like everybody says, but
because he doesn't go into the aisles and see what's going on. He just goes to where he needs to go, so he's only seeing what's up front. But yeah,
look,
no,
men shop different than women. Men when they walk in the door, actually, people with beards walk through the door and they know what they're going to get, and they know what they want to pay for it. Everybody else, people without beards, go in there and they look around and they spend all kinds of inordinate amount of time.
Then what's Mr. Hacks? Mr. Hacks goes through, and in fact, Pippin gets really upset because when she goes into the store with him, like she'll have a list of certain things that she's going to do.
I have seen him clean shaven. That's all I'm saying. I have seen he shops. I guarantee you right now. Well, I shop, but I know what I'm getting. I go get it and I get out.
Oh my God. Oh, you guys are a mess. So anyway, so we got all that done. I don't know current events. There's a lot going on there. I don't even know if I want to get in a mess.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I want to talk about this with you guys. So I was completely unplugged the last 3
Mm-hmm.
days. We had the long weekend. I was completely unplugged. I did not follow the news. I did not keep up. Did you guys hear about this? The Declaration of North America that the 3 presidents of the North American countries signed. Joe Biden, the dude from Mexico.
Night Ghetto.
Hey, Ghetto.
Sorry, sorry we didn't get into the MS-13 mess, and well, I'm not sorry.
Anyway, they signed this document
I probably
on
shouldn't
the
have said
10th.
that online.
They signed this document on the 10th, and basically what it was a Declaration of North America, how all 4 governments were going to work together, and they use words like inclusivity and climate change and security. And you know what security means whenever you're talking about a government and they start talking about equality and all this other stuff. In fact, I was listening to Travis at the Prepared Homestead, and I'll put the link down in the to his video after we're done.
Oh, Renee, he's already sold us down the river.
But he was talking about this thing, and I recommend you go watch the video because he did a pretty good commentary on it. And I went and I read the thing, and it's like everything that's gone on, and hearing the voices of what people are saying, they don't care, and they are forging ahead full speed with the Great Reset. And what we've seen, for every step forward that we make, they take us 2 back. And it's coming. It's coming at us full speed, and it's really, we were talking about it yesterday, the Second Amendment. There are more states with constitutional carry now than ever before. Even though crime is on its way up, gun crime is down, and you take the big blue dots out of the equation, and we're way down on the list for gun crimes in the world, for especially considering there's more guns in this country than people. So we've got big wins there. The Supreme Court and what they recently did. We've got wins with personal freedoms. We got all this good stuff happening, and they're attacking it faster and faster. Gun confiscations were up last year by a factor of like 3 or 4 times. And
well, and the ATF showing up at your door and seizing all of your guns and all of that's an uptake. Yeah. Well,
and it's
Eagle Lover, you're right. As far as the revolution, they're pushing it, and they want it, and they want it so bad that even at this point, you realize they recovered in a 3rd location documents from the most famous president, or the most popular president ever in the United States.
Talking about former Vice President Biden.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so they now found those documents. So now we know that he has breached national security. We also know that he's not only in bed with Russia, China, now Germany. And we know that the guy's just a doof, and he sold us, and he sold all of our secrets. And so now what they're doing, and they're pushing, what the rumor is, they're trying to push, they're going to go ahead and get him out now that he's served his 2 years. Then Kamala Harris takes over. Kamala Harris will take over as president, and then she can rerun again. Now, if you don't think that's not going to be a disaster.
Okay, so here Hippocrates says something here. What I don't get is passing laws that even at a 6th grade reading level are unconstitutional, isn't violating rights under cover of law, a federal crime. Okay, here's my problem. We were talking about this on that Telegraph group. The thing that scares me is that right now, the legislature is not doing anything. That the politicians in Washington, D.C. are not doing anything to protect our freedoms. The administration, all the agencies underneath the executive branch are going after personal freedoms left and right. The only place where these things are winning, where we're winning stuff, is in the court. And that's one of the things I'll bash Trump. I wasn't a big fan of Trump through his presidency, I've told that story before, but that's the one thing I'll give him is he put
right, Rick. Yeah, they are.
he put good judges in place for the most part. I mean, there's always going to be a turd in the fruit, the punch bowl, but for the most part, he put some good people in. But the thing that scares me is I don't want my freedoms resting on the fact that the government is deciding to play nice, because all that is for the executive branch to tell the judicial branch to go stuff it, and they do it all the time. They do it all the time. We don't see it as much as it happens, because they hide it pretty good. But just the government should play nice. The government should want to play nice, and it doesn't want to play nice.
It doesn't. So here's the other issue. The government thinks that they are in control. They think that they control everything. And what it is that the people have forgotten, well, they have forgotten that we elect the government officials. We are the ones that put them in there. They work for us. And so they're supposed to be thinking of us, and they're not. How else do you take a job that is only making $30,000 a year and become a multi-millionaire?
They make 150,000.
Okay, and become a multi-millionaire in a year. How does that happen? Well, they sell us out, and
so I guess we've just shoved two great big black pills down people's throats.
Yeah, so make sure you get out there and vote. Not that it's going to matter, but make sure you get out there and vote.
Well, what's in the chat? What's the solution? Teapot, you got to go tonight.
Yeah, she's had a long day.
174,000 for the Congress critters. What are some solutions that you guys see? What's some white pills to the black pills of what's going on? I mean, we talk about all the time. Okay, let's talk about the revolution. Let's talk about the revolution comment. Two things. Number one, revolution comes in many different forms. The most revolutionary thing that you could do as an American right now is grow your own food. If only 10% of Americans grew their own food, do you realize the system would completely collapse? That would be the ultimate act of revolution right now is growing your own garden. Okay. The second part of the revolution comment. We don't want to go there. I'm gonna say it right now. Number one, we don't advocate anything violent, illegal, all that stuff. Revolution is always on the table. It always has to be on the table when you're talking about dealing with governments. And unfortunately, the Constitution, the Second Amendment, is specifically written so that the people have the option of violent revolution. Or I'm not going to say violent revolution, but armed pushback. Let's call it armed pushback. All right, that's specifically written like that. We don't want to go there. That is literally the last resort. And I still take my oath that I took when I joined the Marine Corps pretty seriously. And I'm telling you that right now, that is not where we want to go. We do not want to go down that kinetic route. We do not want to end up there because number one, I don't think the country's ready for that. I don't think as a whole the country's ready for that. It's a completely in 1776, 3% of the population could win the day. In today's day and age, with modern military power and the power of the social media, it's not even the power of propaganda, because that's what it is. It's all propaganda. The power of propaganda. 3% of the people cannot carry the day. I'm sorry. It's just it won't happen. And somebody, Bug Out Bushido, made a comment I thought was so proper. Revolution, that type of revolution that you're talking about is only going to happen whenever people run out of high fructose corn syrup and TV.
Renee, explain civil disobedience in your community, because we do that.
So civil disobedience. Basically, you don't follow the rules. if the rule is immoral, unjust, you don't follow it. And thing with civil disobedience is you have to be willing to face the consequences. And more people can do it than that think they can. Seriously. Not paying your taxes is an act of, well, for most people, not paying taxes is just a selfish act because they don't want to pay the money. But it can be an act of civil disobedience.
We pay your taxes.
Not getting permits for something that's on your property. Why should I have to go
so that we can remodel our pantry
or build a retention pond to catch rainwater? Why should
chicken coop?
Why a chicken coop? Exactly. Why should we do that? Our chicken coop, we didn't need a permit for our chicken coop, but had I built it differently,
we would have been required to have
yeah, we would have been required to have it. That's why I'm a big proponent. If you can find rural property in a county where they don't have zoning laws and you get good property, snatch it up, because it's getting harder and harder to find those things. In fact, the one Johnson County in Missouri, which was right next door to where we live, the only zoning condition they had was septic, right?
Yes.
That was the only thing you had to get. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of agree with that, because that's kind of a public health issue.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal for you too. So, but one of the other things too that we do for civil disobedience is that we market within each other. So that's what our community is. So we try to keep our dollars inside of our community.
I don't know if I'd consider that civil disobedience.
Oh, I do, because we're taking the money and not feeding the beast. We're feeding the community.
But we're not doing anything illegal.
Wrong. We are. So in order to...
God, you don't say that on...
Well, I don't care. So they want you to have a license to sell out of your greenhouse. They want you to have a license to sell your food. They want you to have a license for this and that and all of that. And I don't bother with that.
We're not advocating do anything illegal.
I was letting you know. There's something legal that you can put on there, not a USDA kitchen, and then there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah. Starla says we made a revolution by changing the way people think. You know what? Changing your mindset is the big thing. That's probably the biggest thing. You got to change your mindset. And it's easy. It's easy to get in a funk, and it's easy to live off of nothing but black pills, because that's all you see. That's why I
get up in the morning and start with making your bed.
I constantly talk about serving up white pills after we eat black pill people, because it's just so, it's easy to get into the fear porn. Because what we were talking about tonight, that's fear porn. And
is it? It's
anybody that goes and reads that Declaration of North America should be afraid. Seriously, read the official release of what they signed, and it should scare the snot out of you. It does. It really does.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny, and like some of the stuff in I don't think it's fear porn. I think it's current events. And there is I don't even want to I'm not going to tell you their name, because I don't want to bring attention to them.
Hypocritus, you're wrong.
But there was another Homestead channel that put out, it killed me. I was absolutely floored. And it was like a train wreck. I could not quit watching. She's like, turn it off, get it off there. And I'm like, but it's an absolute train wreck. I can't stop. And they did it for views, and they were talking about clickbait, but they literally created clickbait. And so they're fighting with another homestead, or just saying that this other homestead is lying and they're not doing what they're said. And then they took a friend of ours and they put him on there, saying that he was saying that they weren't right on Tractor Supply and they weren't doing what they were doing. I know him personally, and I know when that comment from the video that they put of him was on there, and that was not about them. In fact, we all ended up going to the person she was bashing. We ended up going to their festival. We were all there, and he was one of the speakers, him and his son, for several events at that festival. And then she turned around and she was using one that we know is just she's a hard pill to swallow and very strange bird. And then they used her also in defense. And the funny thing is, they put her, like her and the other one were saying the same thing about the so-called bad Homestead. And so now we've taken prepper drama and we're pulling it over to the Homestead. And the thing that cracked me up the most is she actually said nobody poops in a bucket. Homesteaders do not poop in buckets.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Hacks.
Where you at, Hacks? How many
guys,
years you guys been pooping in a bucket?
You guys know. Don't tell people that. God,
she don't care. She does not care. In fact, it's so funny because Garen did actually. He took a picture from the outhouse and he literally took a picture of the view and he sent it over to Billy and he goes, "Guess where I'm sitting?" And Billy's like, "Isn't that a beautiful view?" Because he has sat there so many different times.
You guys. So anybody. First off, Hacks, if you're still in here, can we talk about your connection with them? Anyway. Yeah.
8 years. 8 years they've been using that. And it's cute.
So Billy,
they do a really good job with it.
Billy, we've become really good friends with Billy Bond from Perma Pastures. And the Hacks are really good they've known Billy and his family for years. Since William was a little kid.
They were on the same property in the same community together.
They were on the same property in the same community till he moved down to Texas. And we were sitting around, we got done doing it was when we were killing chickens. We were butchering all the chickens out there, and we were sitting around drinking some beer afterwards, and came to talk. And I guess Billy used to go into the outhouse and used to tell people from the outhouse because they got wireless up there. And so I was like, okay. So I went over to the outhouse and I sat down, and I wasn't using it. I sat down and it opened the door, and I took a picture out the door, and I sent him a text, and I said, "Can you guess where I am?" And he responded back in a couple of minutes like, yes, I do know where you are.
Yeah, it's quite amazing when you're actually homesteading and you're prepping and doing all of that. And remember, we always say, the goal is to go from prepper to homesteader, and you want that self-sufficient lifestyle. And so that's the whole goal. So saying that one is not the other and all of that just floors me. And so, but she even went down to the lines that if we were real preppers and real homesteaders, that we would be taking you into our food storage area and showing you everything we had so that you could strive to do and get everything we had. I guarantee you right now, if I showed you everything we have, you'd be overwhelmed. You would think I was absolutely insane, and I would have people at my door. And I'm not going to do that. That is not happening. I will teach
Terminator,
you how to do it, but you will never see what we have.
You have a good evening. All right. You stay safe too. They got lots of snow up there still. I guess they're in the winter, so that makes sense.
Yeah, ghetto. Yeah, telling you to snitch on yourself. Yeah, not happening.
You just did.
What? No, I didn't. Nobody sees what I have. Nobody knows what my 12 packages of mac and cheese.
Oh my gosh. We've got a lot of stuff that needs to be freeze dried. Let's just put it that way.
So, but yeah, so no,
she's gonna have a whole series of freeze drying videos coming up because as I was moving stuff around trying to make room to put that door in, I found stuff I forgot we had, and we got a whole bunch of canned goods because it sat out there.
Oh
the rings are rusty, so we need to go through and probably just
see what's bad, ditch what needs to be ditched, and then go through. I mean, that's just it sucks, but that's what we're almost at a year and a half almost, and so at a year and a half with not having a proper pantry and all of that, that's what happens. We moved from a great pantry to meh. So, but that's all right. We're getting things back in order.
Is meh French for none at all?
Yes. Yeah. So, but
Rick says, "Wait, I can poop in a bucket, so I don't have to go on the ground."
Yes, Rick. Yeah, so they made in their outhouse.
Get a Sears and Roebuck catalog.
Outhouse, it's really cute. And so they took the outhouse and they've got a bench in there, and they keep the sawdust over on one side of the bench, and they even have toilet paper roll in there, the whole 9 yards. The pit slides out for cleaning from the back of the outhouse, so you're not doing outhouse, and it's got a regular toilet seat on it, the whole 9 yards. And so, when you're first starting out, you put some sawdust down there, do your business, put some more, sawdust down on top of it so you don't have to smell it, and then you just change it out as it gets full.
You remember that house that Rick the mechanic had? The guy that was our mechanic back in Pleasant Hill, he had an outhouse.
Oh yeah,
he plumbed into his septic tank.
Yeah.
But it was on skids, so he could take wherever it was, and it was a big one.
I
too.
wanted to buy it, but we had no way to move it.
It had a water pressure tank on it, so you had running water to wash your hands and stuff.
It was really neat.
And if he was working on the back of the property for a long time, he had a big project. He could throw a bucket in there and drag it out with the tractor and have a porta potty right there next to it. When I say it was big, it was like 10 by 10, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice. I wanted to buy that, and we just didn't have any way to move it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. He probably left it with the property, but yeah, it was pretty neat. So, and Hacks and them, they're putting water in theirs. They're gonna have a sink and all that stuff in there, so it's gonna be pretty cool. Right now, you have to walk to the outdoor sink. But
you guys need to write him about getting videos for that stuff, because that's going to become important.
Yeah.
It's going to become important. And you haven't lived until you pooped in a bucket.
Yeah, Starla, we still have the Amish buggy. It's here.
Yeah, you want to buy it? Trade you.
I think she does.
Trade you a bunch of flooring for it.
No. That's not happening.
Is it hydrated lime? Isn't that what you use in the septic buckets?
Oh, okay, so if you go over to Hacks for the Homesteader, he does have a video on that outhouse.
Okay.
So for those that are interested, so head over there, Hacks for the Homesteader, and you can check out that outhouse. I'm telling you, it's super cute. Like, I have zero problems with this. I don't know what other people's issue is. I really don't. Of course, I'm also the same person that goes camping and potties in a vault. So I mean, it just is what it is. You know, outdoor girls.
No, RN, it's not a. She was mixing her topics there. We have an Amish buggy that she bought over a year ago.
So there was an auction and farm auction, and so we usually go and get farm equipment and all that stuff. And there was a truck there, a couple trucks, and so we were talking. We were going to go ahead and get a little farm truck that we could just pedal around in. And so there was one that we looked at, and so the auction, and man, it went for big money. It was crazy. It was right in that term. And the truck that really wasn't worth more than $1,000 ended up going for, I walked away when it was up over 5,000. And so then a friend of ours, what was Tag?
Yeah, Tag
from Life Done Free.
Thank you,
and
Tag.
So we got over to the buggy, and Tag says, he told you to come home with a ride, right? And I said, yes. And he goes, you know how to get the buggy. And so I did.
$400 later, we got a bucky that's rotting out on our.
It's not rotting.
The wheels are going to go bad.
We got to get it. We got to get it.
Here, Mrs. Ghetto says it'd be cool to have a buggy. Here's the problem with buggies.
They're really neat.
Here's the problem with buggies. With buggies, you have to have horses or mules. And in my book, horses and mules are nothing but holes in the middle of pastures that you throw money into.
I think that we could harness them, and we could cut the poles back a little bit, and I think we could get the goats to pull them.
No.
I bet we could.
No, that's way too heavy for the goats.
Well, then how come those little miniature horses, that one gal
the Shetlands
in town that used to have her cart, and I would see her riding through town with her little pony pulling the cart.
I'm just saying.
She had no problem. She'd go get her groceries, or if they want to go up to Sonic or something, she'd just take the miniature horses and load them up on the with the cart, and then she'd have her big old whip, and then she'd just run to town, and they'd get whatever.
So Milkmaid says get a goat or sheep cart, and
I think
they used to have dog carts. There's
Pat Wiley has a goat cart.
Is Pat? Are you still in here? Do you?
Because she was going to sell it.
Was it a goat cart, or was it a cart for her dogs? But they used to have carts that went on working dogs, and they would pull, little kids would use them for deliveries and stuff.
Wait, I think it was a goat cart that they used for their dogs, and she said it would work for the goats. So yeah, I had to check with Pat.
Bug Out says he tried to train Newfoundlands to pull carts. How'd that work out? I mean, the perfect size.
Yeah.
Perfect size.
Theirs were, what were theirs? Theirs are
those are
labs.
They gotta cut. They
yeah.
I hope you're not telling too much. They're dog people.
Yeah, they like dogs.
But Yeah. So
maybe a donkey or horse.
you
yeah.
should, you know, Bug Out, you should do a video talking about that. That if you could recreate that or just tell people your experience, that would be, I think that would be very interesting.
You know, it would also be cool. I wonder if you couldn't get like an Irish wolfhound. I wonder how much they could pull. They're big dogs, huge dogs.
Pyrenees and Mastiffs would use a lot of these.
I have to think about that.
From attempting, worth maybe a dozen, about 4 took to it. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so that would be cool. I'll have to ask her if she still has that. I don't know if she does or not.
Get us says he has kids to pull his cards.
Only until they're, I don't know. They get sassy about 13 and don't want to do nothing.
Law says you still have to love them.
I love
You have to feed them.
Yeah, you got to feed them till they're 18. But then once they turn 18, like, get your butt out. Get out of my house.
So yeah, that's that. We're running about an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You guys,
if any questions, any
you
comments?
guys had any other questions? Anything you want to talk about? The heavier loads are for teenagers. Yep. I know, man. Mine probably would have rolled over on his side and whimpered had I tried to do that to him. Be honest with you. You try and
No, they're good kids.
They're good kids. They're both extremely successful
Just
and good at their jobs.
Yeah. Problem is that both of them are they're one is like me and one is like G, and so there's a constant clash.
So Bug Out says that the personality of the dog has to be just chilled out enough to stand there being strapped in, but sparky enough to do something once they're at it. Kind of like huskies with the sled dogs. Kind of like those dogs.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that gave me some food for thought. So I'm gonna have to see if Pat still has that cart and go from there.
Yeah, you gonna put Jasper and Baby on it?
I think Jasper would be perfect. I think
good luck
if we're gonna
catching
keep
him.
him, I think he would. No, he comes up now. We got to figure out Baby. Maybe if he saw Baby do it, then maybe he would. We'd get the milk stanchion and start there. Just get him used to getting the gear on and that kind of thing. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, speaking of goats, I just thought of that. Anybody that raises goats out there, tell me if you've dealt with this before. So one of the twins, one of the year-olds, they were button heads, and he laid one of his horns back, and the root of the horn is exposed, and it's.
You didn't tell me it was exposed.
Yeah, it's.
Okay, I've got medicine for that, so we just need to grab them. I got medicine for it. It'll eventually fall off, but we need to make sure that we keep that sanitized and all of that.
All right.
So
I tried catching him yesterday, and he wasn't having any of it. He was
okay. Yeah, no, we've got medicine for that.
Yeah, I had them break off before, you know, like the tip of them breaking off because they're button heads, but I never had one laid back like that. Starlet going to bed.
Yeah.
Oh, just pray for a friend. She got mesothelioma in the hospice.
Yeah. There was so Tipa was also saying please pray for 100-year-old veteran, and I got hit, and so I'm not sure what that means. I was trying to decipher that, so I'm guessing maybe from a storm or something like that. And looks like the son is in a different area, and or maybe a hospital. I didn't understand it, so but and please keep them in your prayers and just pray for everybody. We all need prayer.
Milkmaid said she had something like that happen with a cow where the horn came off.
Yeah.
Skanes is complaining because she's almost being attacked by mosquitoes while she's peeing.
Oh, good grief!
Yeah,
this year has been so weird with that crap.
Yeah, but we don't have to worry about mosquitoes.
We don't have mosquitoes right now, but I've seen gnats and flies, and then
we got trees that are budding out again back here.
Yeah, so Starla, she ended up not. I couldn't mail her the trees that she ordered from me, so I'd already had them boxed up because I just see what the shipping and weight and everything was. So I had them in the box, and the blooms that were on there fell off, and now they're blooming again. And so just crazy, absolutely wild what's going on with this weather.
What is that, a grapefruit tree?
The lemon tree. And so the lemon tree came back. I thought I lost it to the freeze, but I wanted to make sure, before I threw it out, it's coming back. Of course, I'm pretty good about that too. So I don't know. And then my aloe would be doing fantastic if the freaking puppy would stay out of it.
Yeah.
She keeps eating my aloe. And I can't put it back out in the greenhouse right now.
That would explain the problems with her going to the bathroom.
Oh, does that happen?
Yeah,
we could figure. I've never seen a dog that goes to the bathroom so much. I'm like, what in the world? Because we only feed her, a certain amount, and so I couldn't figure out what was happening. And
they're not solid from time to time.
All right, I'll get the aloe up then, so she can't get into it anymore. With sometimes, you forget, and even though we've had puppies over and over, there's things that I call setting them up for failure. So if you don't want them to chew on your shoes, don't leave your shoes on the floor.
Or smack them on the nose and it breaks them if it's chewing on your shoes.
But it's not. And so,
it is.
No, and then this is why you say, I don't know why the dogs don't want to come to me. Why do they cower? I'm not just talking right now. And so I'm talking about past dogs. I can't figure out why they cower to me. Well, because you beat the crap out of them when they were in. Hit them.
I did not. You're making it sound like I'm
rephrasing it.
Animal abuser.
I'm rephrasing it, but you bop them, and so they don't want any part of that. So
she's learning. She's learning not to bite me. She's learning not to bite me.
That's good.
And I'm not hurting her.
Yeah, see, even Milkmaid agrees. She said, "Agreed, Yoda. Limited opportunities."
Well,
yeah. So if you don't want to do it,
I'm all about redirecting unless it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm trying to sleep, and then it's get her to stop as quickly as possible.
See, my thing is, then you just take her and you lay your arm over her and you keep her confined. And she'll settle down within 1 minute, and then she's back to sleep.
And she's screeching at the top of her lungs while you got her pinned down.
No, she's not. See, this is the kind of stuff that happens in here. Hey, Lucky Dave, I didn't see you sneak in here.
Yeah, she's been here for a while.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's tiny, bitey. Well, she's little, yeah. Well, and that's what Mrs. Hex and I were talking about. They're a pain in the butt when they're this age, but they're so stinking cute. And so you have to learn to enjoy this time now because it's going to go away in a couple months. She's only 9 weeks old now. So we've got a couple more months of this.
I'm not even against the play body. It's the drawing blood where
yeah, she loves her ice cubes. I do. I give them to her.
Yeah.
But I don't want her. So we have my daughter's in-laws, their dog loves ice cubes so much that she has actually learned, because she's smart too.
Their dog, one of the twins taught her how to.
Yeah, she'll go up and hit the ice maker and get her own ice out of there. And I don't want this one learning that because I don't want ice all over my floor. So, yeah, see, lucky daminess is what saves them. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so anyway, so that's our life for the week. It's been busy. Busy and
we
crazy.
got a let done.
Yeah. So
spent some time with friends while we were working, and and I learned some stuff this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's about it. So let's see.
Learned about the physics of getting the 500-pound safe up off the side.
So we're at an hour and a half.
Yeah, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Really enjoyed the conversation tonight. I'm sorry, we're fighting a cat now. First it was the puppy. Now I got a cat that keeps jumping up.
And I can't put the cat on a leash all the time.
But so we really enjoyed the talk. You guys make it all worthwhile, seriously. Yeah. And if this is your first time in our updates, we do this every Tuesday from 7 to whenever. And topic, you can tell the topics just range. We get a really short update on the front end, and then we just talk about whatever anybody wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Because
we just think that's a fun way to do it. And like, you guys have information that we don't have. We might have some information you guys don't have. We get to talk about things like pressure canning and all of that stuff and other canning. I'll give you guys an update on what ends up happening with the canner, because Hacks put in a few other things where he was fining them all the way down to $130. And so, but Lehman's guarantees their prices, so I know I can call them and say, hey, I found this here. And so I'll do that. But yeah, that's where my money's going. Even if I have to pay a little bit more, that's where the money's going. So But anyway, so yeah, you guys, it was a pleasure having you guys here this week. You know, figure out something. The weather's going to be nice. Do something inside, do something outside. Get some canning. Be creative with some recipes. I'll try to get that chicken recipe
Go
out.
try to build your communities. Seriously, that's probably if you do anything of any importance this week, you should take steps to build some sort of community.
Yeah, right. And pay attention out there. Pay attention at the grocery store. So if you are just now stacking and prepping, make sure you keep doing that and just pull in, and then make sure that you're rotating everything. It was for us to rotate because everything was in boxes, and
don't know where it
and we
is.
don't know.
As I was moving boxes yesterday, every 5 minutes I was coming. Hey, guess what I found?
Yeah, he was bringing stuff out to me.
Guess what I found that we've been looking for a year.
Yeah. So, but then, oh yeah, and I got the Mylar bags and all of that stuff real quick ordered. So we'll be getting that stuff in, and then creating some really cool sizes for freeze-dried Skittles and all that. You guys don't forget, this is also the season. So if you need rooting hormone, I've got that. We've got the regular rooting hormone for $15. We've got the rooting hormone plus for $25. So you get a combo for $35 plus shipping. And then so that you're going to want to have in your possession, especially as you're doing sweet potato slips, ginger, turmeric, and all of that. And I don't have a lot, and so I've got some. I need to get some more bottled, but yeah. So this is it until I can get other materials off of our farm to get that stuff working. So yeah, we'll have. I think he's going to go through see how many more pawpaw trees that he wants to go ahead and plant out here. So we may have a couple ready for spring. I'll let you guys know. I'll give you an update on that.
You guys should go to the bonfire store and buy one of our Stop Banging Your Agency shirts and wear it, so everybody can ask you what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
So that you can tell them, you can start the conversation with them and try to wake somebody up.
Right, and that's true, Hacks. He said just step outside your comfort zone. You will have a community in no time. Absolutely. And so don't be afraid to be yourself. Make sure you're yourself. Don't be somebody else trying to build a community, because it's not going to work out.
And most importantly, go live a life done free. Right? You guys take care, and we will see you. We should have a video out tomorrow, and we shall see you next week. And we are.
Milkmaid just realized that when she posts stuff that it dings.
Her and Lucky Dame are in that Telegram group, and they were dinging back.
He forgets to turn his alert off.
So, all right, guys, you have a good night. Go live a life done free.
Night, guys.